Hey, Motivated Code Pros or Motivated Code Pros to be. Here are 5 common misconceptions to becoming a software developer in the real world with a real job. True or false statements. Number 1, I have to have a degree or a certification from a code camp to get a job as a software developer in the real world. And the answer to that is false. You can be self-taught. The main thing you have to do is to be able to demonstrate competence and have a body of work to show. Even a PhD has to show up with some skill. So however you can arrive at acquiring your skill and being able to demonstrate skill and competence is what you need to focus on to get a job in the real world as a software developer. Number 2, to land a job as a software developer, I need to know a lot of programming languages. True or false? And the answer to that is false. You don't need to know a lot of programming languages. You need to demonstrate competence and depth in one area. And if you're just getting started, I want that one area to be JavaScript. Why JavaScript? JavaScript is in use on virtually every website on the planet. It's used in many server-side implementations now, so you can be pretty complete as a software developer with just JavaScript. There are other things to learn, clearly, but if you start there, you're off to a really good start. So what about learning other things? Well, with time, you'll learn other things, but if you have depth in one area, you're far more teachable, and it'll be a lot easier for you to pick up other things. If you're fragmented to begin with across a lot of disciplines, you'll have a difficult time picking up any one of them completely and thoroughly. So learn one thing completely. I recommend it be JavaScript, and you can land a job as a software developer. Okay, true or false? Number 3. If I know a lot about programming, I know a lot about software development, I can land a job as a software developer. And the answer to that is false. Knowing about programming and software development is just information. And I want you to remember this following equation. 10% of software development is information. The rest of the other 90% is walking that 10% out. So information plus action in the form of practice, practice, practice equals results, which turns you into a software developer. So remember, you have to practice, practice, practice. It's not enough to know about programming. You need to know how to program. Now, I use the analogy of golf. This is one of my favorites, right? I'm a terrible golfer, so I can read about driving and putting and setting up on the tee. I can read about getting out of the sand trap and all this kind of stuff. But when I step out of that golf cart and walk to the tee, it's a whole different ball game. And if I haven't practiced, all that information is useless. So remember, 10% of programming is information. The other 90% is action based on that information. It's not enough just to know about programming. But if you practice, 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 you can get a job as a software developer. Number 4. To be a software developer, I have to be a math geek or an engineering wizard or off the charts smart to be a software developer. And the answer to that, of course, is false. You do not have to be off the charts smart to be a software developer. As application developers, web developers, that kind of software development, we are not sending rockets to the moon, building bridges over rivers, or doing surgery in the hospital with our applications development. We're typically solving really common business problems around buying and manufacturing, selling and distributing, or accounting. And I know there are some other things, but most everything in the application development realm of business falls into one of those buckets. So you don't have to be off the charts smart. Software development is about helping people to do their jobs, helping people to get their stuff, like from Amazon, helping people to get their information, like from their bank or their insurance company. So remember, software is really about helping people. And if you can develop competence around helping people, and you have a heart for that, and you want to solve business problems like the ones I described, you can be a software developer. Number 5, true or false? Software development is the type of job that you're either going to love or hate. This one I'm going to say is true. I've said of software development forever that it's the kind of job that you're going to love it or you're certainly going to learn to hate it. And why is that? Well, on the positive side, solving problems, being creative, helping the business get its needs met, meeting the needs of your users, working with fellow programmers, all that's fantastic. The other side of it It can be very stressful and demanding. It requires a lot of practice, there's that again, and a lot of late nights and early mornings. And let's face it, it's just stressful. And so like any job that you would choose, it has its own brand of joys and its own flavors of pain point, right? So anyway, remember this, over the life of your career, no matter what you choose to do, you're going to spend more time with your work than any other thing in your life. So you better love it or you're gonna hate it. And if you can handle all that, you can get a job in software development. So there it is, 5 common misconceptions of becoming a real software developer in the real world with a real paycheck. If you're aware of some misconceptions that I didn't discuss and want to share them, please add them to the comments below. If this video is useful to you, please like it and subscribe to my channel. I am Scott from Motivated Code Pro signing off. Thank you for coming and please keep coming back.